Hi everyone, it's Rachel with Little Island Crafts. Welcome to my slightly messy craft room. Tonight I am recording a video for National Art Day. We're going to try to show you a new way to use some of the art supplies that most of us already have around the house. With that, let's get started. Today we are going to be taking leaf rubbings. So what that means is I walked around while I was walking my dog, I picked up a whole bunch of leaves. I'm not sure how many of these we're going to use, but this one actually came off of one of my houseplants. We may see how that one works. So let's get started. What we're going to need today are some fun leaves, crayons with the paper taken off, watercolors, any kind of watercolors work, and paper. And I need to go grab my water. 1 second. It turns out it is difficult to do watercolor without water. So now that we have our water and everything's ready, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do before anything else, I'm going to take a little bit of water on my brush, some clean water, and I'm going to drop it on top of my watercolors so that they start to soften. This makes it just a little bit easier to pick up those colors when it is time to actually watercolor. So we've got just a drop in each of those spots so that those colors start to soften. While that's softening, let's take some leaf rubbings. So we're going to start with this one. This is a maple leaf that I picked up on my walk. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to flip it over so that this bumpy side with all the veins is face up, and I'm going to put it under my paper. I'm going to lay it mostly flat as I can. And then I'm going to take my crayon with the paper torn off, and I'm going to hold it sideways so that I can rub against that leaf and we can see the shape of the leaf and all of those veins coming out in some really fine detail. So we're just going to make sure we get nice edges. We're just going to keep running that crayon over. You can take rubbings of all sorts of things. So we want to make sure we've got good, nice layer of crayon laid down. All right, and that one was yellow. And so you can see here how really beautiful that detail is. Now the next one, I'm going to be tricky. The next one, I'm going to use my white crayon on my white paper. So I'm going to lay this leaf, it's got a little bit of a curl here. We're gonna see how much of that we can flatten out under our paper. But then I'm just going to take my white, and again, I'm going to kind of press And sometimes if I look at it from a bit of an angle, I can see where that crayon has drawn, but for the most part, I'm kind of relying on how it feels when it's rubbing on the leaf and when I find the edge of that leaf. Okay, there we go. I think that covers that pretty well. That one is much more difficult to tell whether or not, I don't know if I can get it to show you kind of that very thin shimmer you can see from where the wax is on the paper. And that's what we're going to take advantage of. We're taking advantage of the fact that crayons are made of wax. So now I'm going to take my watercolor brush and I'm going to pick my colors. Let's start with, oh, I don't know. Let's start with a little bit of blue and a little bit of red because I like these colors. And we're going to come and just paint over that leaf there. I love it. And look at how much that brings out those veins. So you can see all the lovely, beautiful details in those leaves. All right. So we've seen what it looks like on the yellow. Let's see if we can find this white one. So again, I'm gonna load my brush up with water and I'm going to take, I think I'm gonna start with a little bit of this orange and just kind of touch here in the middle. And I'm gonna load up with a bit more water and I'm gonna pick up some of this yellow. And look at that. Load up with a bit more water, a bit more yellow. Look at that. You can see just a hint of that leaf. So that, my friends, is our art project for today. You take a leaf, lay it under your piece of paper. Today I'm just using thin printer paper. You can use sketch paper. You want to use something a little bit thin. You don't want to get out the good heavyweight watercolor paper for this. For this one, use your thin papers and just have fun. Yeah, I think that's it for us today. Thank you very much. If you do this, let us know in the comments, tag us on your Instagram photos, send it to us in an email, bring it by the shop. We'd love to see what you guys take rubbings of and how your rubbing watercolors turn out. Thank you so much for joining me today and have a wonderful National Art Day.